All right, Karen, today we're going to go to part two of the demo, understanding how local contact tracing works. And this is really the meat of it. This is the part of the system that lets everybody know when anybody gets sick. So in our particular scenario here, we will have one room, the Heathlands Medical Room, and it will have two nurses working in that room at the same time. Nurse Diesel and Nurse Jackie. They're going to end their shift, they're going to go home, and then one of them is going to warn everybody that she has just tested positive and that people should go into self-quarantine. It's that simple. So if it'll work for two nurses in a room, it'll work for 2,000 nurses in 500 rooms, all right? So the first thing we have to do is open the room. So here we are with Heathlands Medical. We'll open the room. It tells us that we're open. It records it down here, and it even records it in an audit trail. All right, now the nurses come into work. So here's Nurse Diesel. She is going to make sure she's picked Heathlands Medical because that's where she's going to work today, and she checks into the room. All right, so now it says Nurse Diesel has checked into Heathlands Medical, and Heathlands Medical Room says Nurse Diesel has entered. All right, second step, Nurse Jackie comes in a few minutes later. She also makes sure that she has Heathlands Medical, and she checks into the room. Same thing, Heathlands Medical, Nurse Jackie entered, and Nurse Jackie entered. So now everything is cool. All right, so they do their shift and then they go home. She's gonna go home first because she's not feeling too well, and Nurse Diesel leaves a little bit later. Nurse Jackie gets home, she takes her little home test, and sure enough, she's positive. So she goes back to the screen and she hits the warn rooms, and she's gonna see a message that everybody else in the system is gonna see. She already knows she's the sick one, so she doesn't have to pay literal attention to this message, but this is the message. So let's go to Nurse Diesel. Nurse Diesel sees this and says, Nurse Diesel, as of Tuesday, September 8th, 2020 at 2:45 p.m., be advised you may have been exposed to COVID self-quarantine. Any other nurse that was in the room on that day would also get the same message. Over here in the room, it says, visitor warning, triggered exposure alert to all other visitors. And notice we don't have any identities going on around here. This is as anonymous as the names. These Nurse Diesels, if you choose to use a name that really refers to you, then you can do that. If you want to have an acronym or something that doesn't refer to you by name, then you can do that. It doesn't matter because it's your web browser that's going to respond when that name attached to that web browser is notified.
Yeah.
All right?
So just to clarify is if Diesel and Jackie have been to other places, other medical centers or other nursing homes, so they will be similarly notified as well.
That's
at the
right.
same time.
That's part three.
Yes, it's not shown here, but if it's happened, it will happen. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, thank you very much. This is brilliant. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thanks a lot.